Game 4, Blue Jays absolutely smack the Dodgers around. Get to Ohtani, get to that bullpen. The plan worked. You have to get to this Dodgers bullpen early, and that's exactly what they did. It's just a great game by the Blue Jays. Huge, huge win. The series is now guaranteed to end in Toronto. We have a lot to say, of course. As always, before we do, make sure you're subscribed to the Windup. Appreciate all the new subs on the video yesterday. Click that subscribe button. Really helps out what we're doing over here. James, watch it from afar. How did it feel? How did it look? What were your vibes?
Again, amazing baseball back and forth. Like for these teams who've come back out after 18 innings, lots of times this game where it did feel like these guys were up late the night before, but you can't really say anything about that. Just incredible efforts, great at bats up and down. The Blue Jays rally in the seventh was so just fucking symbolic. I'm mixing words together. Symbolic of their entire season, this entire run, where the bottom of the order just said, "None, we're just not going to get out," except for IKF, who only gets out, but just
Yeah.
absolutely nonstop. Your boy Nathan Lucas, you talked about being up in too many big spots the day
You're
before.
so welcome, Toronto. You are welcome.
Moved him up in the order, and he came through multiple times. But it's
Two
just
for three.
it was really awesome. And again, like Bo getting the big hit again, Barger kind of putting the finishing touches on. I found a Sportsnet stream for this game. I watched on
Oh,
Sportsnet. Tremendous coverage. I know that we're going to wind up doing a
who who does the
Showman and
game?
Showman and Buck
Wait, you can get Shulman and Buck doing the games?
because Canada doesn't get Fox American Sports, so
That's incredible for the
they
Blue Jays because
they
those guys
have
are awesome.
they have their local broadcast going through and through. They have their local sideline reporters. They have everything. They have absolutely the hometown announcers doing these games. And I just happened to be streaming on one of them. It just popped up there instead of Fox. I was like, whoa, this is incredible. And just hearing the energy in that rally, the Vlad home run, like Shane Bieber just absolutely being a total fucking dog every single inning. It was really such a great game for the Blue Jays. Can't believe how well they bounced back.
And of course, stars shine bright when the lights turn on. We know that. Vlad Jr. hitting that home run off Ohtani in the third inning. Ohtani looked pretty good. Again, none of these guys were particularly sharp on either side pitching wise. Like you wouldn't say that these were the best performances by them. But Ohtani's stuff was moving like a wiffle ball, and Vlad jumped all over that pitch, hit the home run, really changed the vibe of this game because the Dodgers took that early lead. And as soon as Vlad hit that home run, they didn't look back. But again, that seventh inning, that's the one that you look at, and just happens to coincide with the Dodgers bullpen coming into this game. Anthony Banda had absolutely nothing, again, because I think he's starting to remember who he is. Blake Trinan, you mentioned it in the video yesterday. The Dodgers should just be like, dude, I don't know if you can cut guys in the World Series, but he should not pitch a single inning again in the postseason. Maybe in his MLB career. The guy is absolutely cooked. You can't go to him. And the Blue Jays jumped all over him in Banda, and that was the difference in this game.
And shout out the way that they started the inning off Otani. Otani came out to
Yes.
pitch that seventh inning. I think he only came out to pitch that seventh inning because of how beleaguered the bullpen was. He already had 90 pitches, but again,
They
whatever.
needed him. Yeah.
Yes, and the stuff was great for Otani, but I definitely wouldn't say he was very sharp at all.
No.
Like there was lots of, especially you can see how amped he was early in the game. When you see a pitcher miss to the arm side like Otani was early, and then he started to try, I think, over adjusted, then started to miss glove side. It did feel like he wasn't in a groove, but the stuff kind of shone through. Great tweet from Robert Stock about the hanging sweeper that Vlad hit out of the park against Otani and take the lead initially. That was the sweeper that had the least velocity and the least amount of horizontal break that Otani threw the entire game. So the
worst
one
pitch.
true mistake, the worst pitch Otani made, Vladimir Guerrero punished it. But then also tough situation for Banda to come into.
Yes.
What was first and second and third
Second
at
and
that point?
third, second and third.
Nobody out, and still hats off to Andres Jimenez, a player that we're both pretty critical of. I think we've both said openly that he's one of the worst contracts in baseball. We've both
Yeah.
said openly that he was just not a great acquisition for this team in the offseason. Funny how great the Blue Jays are doing after having such a dog shit offseason. Just to show
After
you guys how.
choosing to pay Andres Jimenez and Miles Straw any amount of money for no reason.
And Anthony Santander is not on the roster, but still, him fighting. It was down. He was down 1-2. Took a couple balls that were not really anywhere close. A couple tight foul balls. Then just doing the little poke on a single, and then Dodgers almost getting out of it with the Keener Falefa line
Yeah.
drive that almost got double play at first, but then just again the top.
Almost a horrendous play by Andres Jimenez,
Yeah.
completely erasing what he did earlier.
But still, just the way that they just singled out that inning, exactly the way they kind of got through in game one, besides the grand slam at the end. The way they got through a lot of times against the Mariners, the way they got through a lot of times against the Yankees, this team will not fucking roll over.
No, they will not roll over, and they completely jumped all over the Dodgers when the Dodgers showed just the slightest weakness possible, which that's something that good baseball teams do. When you see When you smell blood, you jump on over them. You attack. You become a predator. That's exactly what they were. Also, shout out to the Blue Jays bullpen. Flu Hardy came in for Bieber when Bieber
That was
had that
perfect
difficult
every time.
situation. Flu Hardy was cash money. He's been great. Chris Bassett giving them a 2 massive, massive innings to get to Louis Varland at the end of this game because, again, got to hit the Louis Varland button. It's a day that ends in Y. He's ready to pitch. But Bassett, 2 innings, 2 strikeouts, 1 hit, limiting base runners. Varland, of course, did give up a run because that's what he does this postseason. But for the Blue Jays bullpen, once they got the lead, to be able to keep it like that, it's why they won this game. Again, keeping the Dodgers to only 2 runs. Everybody was tired. We know that it was a late night before. But for the Blue Jays to be that sharp and, again, ensure that this series ends in Toronto, you have to feel really, really good. Probably the best you felt as a Blue Jays fan outside of after game 1.
Yeah, in worst case scenario, the worst situation you could be in is the exact same situation they were in the series before, and they were
Yes.
able to go back to Toronto and win 2 games. And again, I mean, there's no Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the Mariners, so that's going to be a big difference there when we do get back to Toronto. But you have to feel at least good enough. And again, so much credit to Shane Bieber for getting through this one. He
Yeah, because
was
his stuff was not particularly good. He
wasn't
wasn't
great.
particularly sharp, especially early on. The Dodgers made some loud outs. I was waiting for them to turn that corner and really jump on him, but you mentioned it. He kind of dogged his way through it.
He never felt super in control, but also never really felt like there was that much trouble against him. He was also so, and I think artfully careful with Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Never gave him anything to hit. Worked
Kind
the
of
edges.
owned him.
I think he walked him at least once, if I
No,
remember correctly.
but he struck him out twice, which
And,
I
and he
mean,
walked him. He walked him to start the game. That was
yeah.
the one because people were like, "He's going to intentionally walk him to start the game." He never got intentionally walked, and Vladdy got intentionally walked in the middle of that rally, which is funny enough. But he didn't give Otani really anything to hit. There was only a couple that even caught the plate. Otherwise, it was edges. It was at his knees. A couple in his kitchen. Like it was just a really well executed game plan from again. Keep getting through these games, these Blue Jays teams. You look at the approach, the game plans of the hitters and pitchers. So impressive the preparation it seems like this team has and how ready they are for how to properly attack every team they played this postseason.
Yeah, they have had a plan and they've executed it. They haven't really stumbled even for more than a second or two, it feels like, because especially in this game, keeping Otani off the board's massive. Mookie hasn't had a great series. Will Smith went 0 for 4 last night. Nobody particularly played well on the Dodgers offensively except for Freddie Freeman and I guess Teoscar Hernandez, and Muncy got the couple hits here and there.
Monty also with the big at bat against Flu Hardy. That was the Dodgers'
Yeah,
big chance when you look back and couldn't really do it.
couldn't convert. Gotta feel good. Gotta feel good going into this next game because now it's tied up. You have a chance to take the lead going back into Toronto. If the Blue Jays win tonight, you are 1 win away from winning the World Series against the Dodgers. I, for one, as a, again, outside watcher, cannot wait for Game 5. Blake Snell on the mound, can't wait.
And this will be the all important first Trey Savage road start in the playoffs. So I think his feet are definitely wet. I'm sure he's confident as fuck just because of how this has gone. But the way the bullpen was worked in the 18 inning game, the way Bassett saved them this series. Also, again, you mentioned it quickly. Chris Bassett is one of the most important players in this Blue Jays team right now.
Massive. It's
fact
so important.
The fact that he's just become a shutdown reliever, quite literally out of absolutely nowhere. Not nowhere. 'Cause I mean, I figured he just add a few miles per hour and cut down all the pitches and is good. It's also probably something where when you're facing relievers in these games, you're so used to just gas and slider or gas and one breaking ball. And then Bassett even just having the chance to throw you 6 different pitches. I know he also hasn't. He has been very fastball and sinker heavy in these outings, but it's huge. And then tonight, I guess you just can go back after you Savage because I'm assuming that they're going to do the same thing they do in game 1, where they're not going to let him see anyone third time.
I would be shocked. Of course, now because you won last night, you might, depending on the situation.
You're not winning, you're tied though.
Of course, but I'm thinking if the Blue Jays have a lead, maybe Blue Jays are up 3-0 or up by more than 2. I think they might consider it. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but just because every little extra out would help, I think there's a world. But also because you have the travel day on Thursday, it's not all hands on deck because you're not probably throwing Bassett unless he tells you that he's ready to go. You're probably not trying to
I
get.
think he'll pitch.
You think he will?
I think he will. I think you're going to see Bassett. I think you're going to see Hoffman. You're going to see Sir Anthony.
I think you're going to see again. It's like all hands
Little.
on deck. I think Bassett was the one guy that was in question just because he's thrown like 3 innings over the last 2 days in a row, and probably Lauer as well for throwing like 70 pitches the other night. But this is
35.
This is the pivotal game. Like whoever wins this probably wins the series. Truthfully, we mentioned it. We said whoever
100%.
wins 2 in LA is winning this World Series.
I can't believe how good this World Series is. Like, this World
So
Series
good.
is also capturing the world. I'm not sure. I mean, we're never going to talk about fucking ratings because who cares? Baseball is baseball. It's good baseball. It's good baseball. The way that people are watching this between America, Canada, and Japan, like it's rivaling some of the most watched baseball games in this entire century. And it's great that this level of baseball is what's on display. And even again, this was objectively a sleepy game, but there
Yes.
was still tons of intrigue, and you still kind of got the great feelings of that rally to finish it off. And this is this is my guy Blake Snell. This is an all-time Blake Snell legacy game.
This is the
This is the one.
I don't want to say make up for it because we know Kevin Cash pulled him early, but like this is the redemption in the national eyes for like that game. Can Blake Snell be that guy? Because as crazy as it sounds, and it doesn't matter what the idiots think, but the idiots will see this game and either make the Blake Snell comment that you have of Blake Snell's a future Hall of Famer, or they'll make the comment that Blake Snell's a 5 and dive. And we know that both are probably a little bit crazy, especially the 5 and dive one. But this is a legacy moment for Blake Snell.
And at the same time, because all the attention has been in Shohei Ohtani, just have to heap tons onto Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
So damn good.
This is one of the 6 or 7 best postseasons we've ever seen in the history of baseball, front to back. I want to shout out because I think I'm going to start to try and do this. The body bag of the episode, the
Body
video.
bag of the episode.
I'm going to just start dogging people for bad tweets or just Jim Palmer dogs for Anthony Dominguez. This is a bad tweet, so I want to shout out. It's that boy Mike. The only thing worse,
Who the
I think,
fuck is that?
random person from Yankees Twitter. The only thing worse, I think, than when someone has. Not worse, but like the only thing where you know you're going to get a special kind of take more so than the American flag in the Twitter bio is the Italian flag.
Yep.
And this guy's
And we're Italians. We're letting that be known. Both Italians.
and Americans. So again,
yes.
again, chastising ourselves here. This is self-deprecation, but it was a picture of Anthony Volpe, and the tweet was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. when he's not playing the Yankees, and that was from October 13th.
Is that guy? But like,
yeah, again, he's in the body bag for this video.
Yeah, special kind of stupid because I mean, Vlad for years now has been one of the best hitters in baseball.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. this postseason, twice as many walks as strikeouts, 7 home runs, which I think is tied for the 4th most in playoff history because 10 is the max, and just 10, 9, 8, 7. He was tied with Daniel Murphy now for what he's done. It's just without George Springer in this game, as bad as this Blue Jays lineup was, the power of friendship, a spring training lineup, as the Blue Jays fans were calling it. Like it's the one guy you can't let beat you, and he was the one guy who did the biggest thing in this game.
Also, shout out to Ernie Clement again.
Unstoppable.
Just unbelievable.
He started the rally.
It's crazy. They were talking about like his journey and just how many organizations he's gone through and how he found a home with the Blue Jays. And it's one of those where you're like, I don't even know how it happens. I don't know why, but like you mentioned, sometimes it's just like vibes, power, a friendship thing. Ernie Clement and the Blue Jays is like peanut butter and jelly.
I mean, you also just know it from like playing in the small scale baseball games we play in our lives. Like when you're vibing, you're with the boys, you're vibing with the boys. Like that's it.
Having fun playing baseball it can change a vibe totally. Like Ernie Clement is the player that he is. We're not going to say that Ernie Clement is better than guys that are clearly better than him. But in this roster, in this team, in the way that this organization functions, what a perfect little third baseman they found. Like, would you have imagined that Ernie Clement's having more of an impact for the Blue Jays than Matt Chapman did while he was there? Of course not, but that's kind of how it's working.
Actually, and again, that's not saying that Ernie Clement's a better baseball player than Matt Chapman, but right now in this moment for this fit, that is how it's worked. I really do hope though that Springer can get back in the lineup.
Yeah, we don't need to see IKF play any baseball anymore.
This Blue Jays team needs a little bit more punch, and then again, Barger also had a great game. I like that people are getting hip to Addison Barger.
That's your boy. You've been pumping his tires for years to me.
Years, guys. Just a physical specimen. Also, cool things with Vlad that people like give him shit this year. Like, oh, he's not an elite player, only 23 home runs. Now he has 7 in 15 games.
Yeah, like you look back and you're like, oh,
awesome.
Sure, like maybe the total home run numbers isn't that of the elite power hitters being Kyle Schwarber, Aaron Judge, Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, all those guys, Shohei Ohtani. But when Vlad's hitting like 300 and he gets on base like he does and he doesn't strike out, and every single time he puts the ball in play is an absolute piss rocket. He's a superstar. It's crazy that people were trying to argue that he wasn't. That contract is going to go down as one of the most impactful contracts that the Blue Jays have ever signed in the history of their organization.
And so funny the timing of it relative to the Blue Jays' success because they did not get off to a good start of the season.
The Mets swept them early on, and me and you were both like guys who were a little bit lower on the Blue Jays than most. Although
besides having the future.
Yeah, besides having the future. But like most people in baseball thought the Blue Jays were going to be a bottom dweller, us included this season.
At least 500 team.
Yeah. Not necessarily a team that was going to make this kind of noise for sure. And as soon as they signed Vlad Jr. after that weird start to the season, everything turned around for them. They became one of the hottest teams in baseball.
It also comes back to the fucking power of friendship where suddenly like they have their guy there. Because there was so much uncertainty with this Blue Jays core and team heading into the season. Not that this is like a postmortem or referendum on the organization, but it's fun to talk about there. They knew that Vlad was in the contract year. They knew that Bieber was that Bichette was in the contract year. They knew that the pitching was pretty unstable, and then getting Vlad, doubling down at the deadline, getting Bieber. It's just like we have now asserted ourselves that we're going to go for this. We're going to try and win. And again, this a lot of this does come back to these coaches though. You could just feel the prominence of the coaches and this Blue Jay staff and how great these guys are. It's so much fun to watch this team play. And it's such a great juxtaposition for what the Dodgers are and what makes this such fucking awesome theater every single night.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit of a I'm trying to think of the word here, but a lesson in patience too, because John Schneider became the manager of the Blue Jays in 2022, did pretty well, well in 2023. Massive disappointing season in 2024, right? They didn't really accomplish anything. They didn't make the postseason with him a couple times, or that was the first year they didn't make the postseason after going 0-2 the previous 2 years. A lot of teams would have canned John Schneider after last season.
Oh yeah.
I think with the slow start that they had at the beginning of the season, a lot of teams would have canned him there, but the Blue Jays stuck with him. And I think at times myself, people in baseball are always quick to say, get rid of the manager as soon as things go south, get a new guy in. Blue Jays stuck with him, and they probably can't feel better about a manager for the future than they do with John Schneider.
And a team, a core, a leader in Vladimir Guerrero Jr., like everything together. But this all is still just all this credit being heaped on team for tying the series. Like there's still 3 games left.
Oh, they still got to win.
I'm saying anyone's got to win 2 of these to do it. And the fact that the Dodgers for these next 2 games are going to have Blake Snell and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, like this is going to be a fucking slobber knocker for the Blue Jays.
If it wasn't for those 2 names that you mentioned on the pitching side, I would say that this is the Blue Jays series to lose. I would say that the vibes
team of destiny.
Completely flipped. But because you have literally 2 stoppers going for the Dodgers the next 2 games, you got to think they win one. You got to think that this game is going to 7.
And they, oh my God, 7. And they so badly need those guys to go themselves 7
8
at least. Like you can't really mess around with any of this stuff right now. Like we saw the way how aggressive Dave Roberts was pitching to end the series with the Yankees last year, getting that series done in 5, but really not having a plan if there was one additional game.
Oh yeah, they would have been fucked.
And you kind of feel that both of these managers are managing with that kind of like rabid aggressiveness right now, where it's like, I need to win everything possible to win these games. Like there was even line Shane Bieber talked about after the game that Max Scherzer was like, you should start getting warm during like the 16th inning of the game before. And like, yeah, we talked about it yesterday where Yamamoto went out there to get warm 2 days after 100 pitches. And that video went viral of Roki. Like when he saw Yamamoto walk to the bullpen, he like bugged his eyes out and like looked around the dugout. Like that's happening right now. It's just cool. Also misspoke yesterday. Dieris Familia 88 appearances was the most since Varland got to 86 this year. I think Brandon Morrow is the most with 90 in a full season.
Whoa, that's a name, yeah. Brandon Morrow.
That one Dodgers run.
Was he also a starting pitcher at one point too? Am I crazy?
Yeah, I think he was with the injury problems.
With the Blue Jays?
With the Blue Jays, yeah. And then I think reliever with the Dodgers, funny enough.
Good Blue Jays, Dodgers, immaculate grid guy, if you guys are still playing that. I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
This is such good baseball. I wish the series was 17 games long.
Yeah. I mean, I'm ready for the offseason, I'll be honest. But as a Met fan, I'm ready. But as a baseball fan, these games are fantastic. We've got a big one tonight, guys. Love to hear what your predictions are down in the comment section below. Please do subscribe to the Windup if you enjoy what you're seeing over here. We're going to be coming at you with videos after basically every single game the rest of the series. It's just
you guys are going to get 2 weeks straight of videos from us.
Yeah, we are ready to pump out the content. So make sure you are subscribed. If you want to follow James, you can follow him at
James Schiano.
And I'm GiraffeNeckMarc with a C. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you all tomorrow to talk about Game 5. Peace out.